like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Yeah, I need it now, told him on the lay. I've been moving, dog, yeah, I'm on the way. I don't hear the talk, don't care what they say. I don't got no patience, I can't ever wait. I've been trying to get it, running up all these digits. And I've been in the gym, I've been up doing minutes. I just put in that work, told them it's strictly business. And I see through the face, they all just burning bridges. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Yeah, they don't want it, dog, like I want it, dog. Yeah, they say they want it, then they took the summer off. I've been going down the list, checking numbers off. I was checking on your numbers, told them something's off. I was at the bottom, now you know I'm climbing. Now they sending deals, they know I ain't signing. They been trying to sell it, they know I ain't buying. When they send a text, dog, I ain't replying. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't drop the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell.
Look what's next for me, Joe. I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the f is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Space shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in mine, yeah.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, at the of the class on a roll, hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On a roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, hey, on a roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On a roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On a roll, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I see the bing bongs. I see the smash of likes. I see the LFGs in the chat. What is going on, Mafia? Thank you all for tuning in to today's live stream. I almost said premium live stream. But welcome in, guys. We got an amazing live for you guys tonight. Once again, as Bitcoin has gotten that move to the upside that we were looking for, and we have hit local resistance. If you guys were watching the live stream yesterday, you will know that we were approaching key resistance, and we were looking for a potential pullback. Is this going to be a big pullback, or are we anticipating a small pullback to put in that higher low and continue up to higher prices? If you guys watched last night's live stream, you should be updated on what I think there, but I want to give you guys my thoughts on the market, where I think things are going, and I want to show you guys some very specific key levels that we need to be keeping our eye on as we pull back. Are we going to see this higher low come in? And if it does, where are those high likelihood places for it to come in? If you're looking for new long entries or what have you, or you're just looking for a little bounce on Bitcoin, I want to show you guys the high probability areas for that bounce to happen. And not only that, but that line in the sand that may make us flip bearish, which we're pretty far away from. I do want to point that out. But we got to keep an eye out for the bullish and the bearish cases, because we make money trading Bitcoin, whether the price is going up or down. If you watch this live stream, you'll know that. So shout out to the Mafia. Don't forget to smash that like button, guys. Every 100 likes we get gives you guys some extra chances to win some free crypto. And if we get 1,000 likes on tonight's live stream, I will give away $100 in... I don't know. I'll give away $100 of any like big high market cap crypto. I'm not gonna give away any like garbage coins. But yeah, we'll give away $100. I was gonna say of XRP, but if you want a Cardano or something, we could do that. So we need 1,000 likes for that. So smash up that like button. And without further ado, let's go ahead and say what's up to the Mafia and see who we got in here. We got Dev. What is going on? He said, Frankie simply said, bing bong. Shout out to Dev. What is going on? We got Origin Trader. Good to see you, brother. Dropping those. Yo, shout out to the emojis in the chat right now going ballistic. We got the Mrs. Candles hands, the market ciphers. We got all the emojis popping in the chat. Thanks to Golden for getting everybody those memberships. We got Pennywise in the chat. What is going on? We got Robert Liu. What is going on, brother? Actually, speaking of that name, my dad texted me while I was in a meeting, so let me go ahead and answer him really quick. Dad, if you're watching this, what is going on? I'm sorry I missed your text message. Hey, Dad, I'm live right now. Sorry I missed your text. Was in a meeting. Bitcoin to the moon. Bada boom. And my dad actually does hold a whole lot of Bitcoin, so he will be happy about that little bump from yesterday. But shout out to Local 11. We got Crypto Billy in the chat. Speaking of Crypto Billy, guys, I am going to be making an appearance on Billy Goat Tales tonight at 9 p.m. on X. Go ahead and drop that link, Billy, and we will pin it until we get the altcoins up there. But guys, don't forget to check out Billy Goat Tales tonight at 9 p.m. I will be on the space. Super, super pumped for that. So shout out to Crypto Billy. Hashtag Givers Gain. We got Only You in the chat. Said, bless up, Mafia. Frankie Candles. Bing bong. He says, stay blessed. Shout out to Only You. We got the Godfather in chat. We got Anna Maria, Hodl Crypto, Ollie B. We got Patrick, and we got last but not least, the Godfather again, and Soft Shelly. What is going on? Thank you guys for tuning in, and shout out to the Candle Mafia. Smash that like button. And without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and drop some sauce on this crazy thing they call Bitcoin and see if we can call this thing one more time. Let's get into it. So here we are, guys. Bitcoin. Obviously, did get that move to the upside yesterday, which was very, very nice as we were in, or I was and still am, in a long position down here from the bottom of this value area low. I won't break this down too in detail just because I know a lot of people are familiar with this, but simply put, I kind of go over this because I want to give everybody kind of the context of where I am coming with my analysis, right? So I am in a long position from down here below the deviation or on the deviation of the volume profile. I am still holding that position. That is what it looks like right now. So I am still holding this position. And as of right now, guys, there were many reasons to look for this long, even other than the fact that we were deviated below the volume profile or the value area low. We reclaimed it. We know at that point, once you reclaim the value area low, the next likely place is going to be for price to go is going to be that point of control. And then once you hop above that point of control, you are going to be looking for that value area high, which was basically what we were using to anticipate and follow along with that price movement to the upside. And we were looking for it to happen before it actually moved, which is how we were able to get into that long position. Shout out to the premium Discord. But with that being said, guys, the question is now we have come up to that value area high. We have deviated above it, which you guys know, we were talking about this last night. This is typically where you want to look for your short positions. Now, just full disclosure, at least as of right now, I am not holding a short position. This is not because I don't think we're going to come down further. It is simply because I had actually limit orders set, which is not typical of my trading style. I don't normally use limit orders. I'm typically an aggressive trader. I will dump in with those market orders. If you don't know what that means, it just means when I hit buy or sell, I am instantly in the position rather than setting that level on the chart. For anyone who doesn't know what a limit order is, limit orders, you got to set that level on the chart and then price has got to come up to tap that level to fill the order. And I did I was away from the computer, so I set some limit orders to short a lower high here. And it missed my limit orders by like a penny. So I'm not technically short from here, but if you guys were watching the live stream yesterday, you will know we were talking, let me hide this long position. I am still holding that long for anybody curious, right? So I'm not short, even if I was short from here, right? I'm not short and then closing the long in full saying, get out of the long, we're going to zero. And I'm going to explain the context of this move to the downside if we are going to see a continued move down. I kind of want to talk about what I'm expecting because as you guys know, technically the market structure is bullish here. We do have some money flow coming back up on some key time frames such as the daily here. But as we see this VWAP roll back over on Market Cypher B, once we get that red dot on the daily, we are likely to get a little bit more of a pullback if it does wind up printing and confirming. But the context of this pullback, in my opinion, is definitely, this is what we were looking at yesterday, obviously. The context of that move down would just be at this point, as long as money flow remains in the green, as we're seeing these crossovers, as long as we're able to remain in the green with the 12, 16, and daily, we are going to expect that move down to be a lackluster pullback before putting in a higher low and continuing up to higher prices. Now, I want to be clear here, guys. This does not mean that we can't go lower, right? Just because we have bullish market structure, just because the money flow is crossing over, doesn't mean that it is a 100% guarantee that we're going to see a higher low here. Obviously, we all know the market can do whatever it wants, and we could easily just see a big nuke down to zero here. But again, trading and technical analysis in general is a game of probabilities, understanding market structure, understanding your indicators, and all your technical techniques, right? And it's about putting probabilities on each kind of situation and then just going with the higher probability outcome. And the fact that we have that bullish market structure and that money flow crossing over into the green, we are going to anticipate that move to be lackluster, to put in a higher low, and then continue to the upside. And I am going to be talking about those key levels. This may or may not be one of them. We're going to be talking about those key levels that we would be looking at the high likelihood of a higher low. And then again, I want to go over that kind of line in the sand that would kind of flip me a little bit more bearish. And I just want to talk about how I'm actually handling this, right? So with that being said, simply put, money flow is technically headed in the right direction. Now, it is a little bit, here on the 12-hour, it is a little bit choppy, right? We spent some nice time in the red here. Came back into the green, came back into the red, right back into the green. So we are starting to bing bong around. But the idea here, shout out to Mrs. Candles. Go ahead and show the hand. Show the hand here, Mrs. Candles. Come on. Come on. Oh, come on. Give me a sniff. Come on. Oh, man. Shout out to Mrs. Candles. She won't let me sniff her hand anymore, guys. She gets weirded out for some reason. I don't know why. They don't call me Frankie the Hand Sniffer for nothing. Or as Dave Digital says, the man, the sniff, the legend. But anyway, as we see that money flow cross over into the green, guys, this is going to be a clear thing. There's those Mrs. Candles hands. Let's go. Shout out to Mike Vito. But the idea here is we really need this money flow to come into the green. And, just the fact that we have this green crossover, that is part of what is making me anticipate the higher prices. But short-term pullbacks are definitely in sight here, in my opinion. But just, I really like to just say the context here. Not a dump to zero, a short-term pullback before getting that move to the upside. And it's not just the money flow, guys. It is the market structure. We talked about this on yesterday's live stream. And the bullish change of character here on the daily was another thing that we were looking at as a bullish sign, right? Once we got that bullish sign, this is letting us know that we are changing trends and you are going to be much safer, right? Not guaranteed, but you are going to be much safer, looking for price to pull back, to put in that higher low and continue to the upside. This is just simply what I look at, or what I kind of how I trade based off the changes of character on the higher time frames. You can also see here on the Lux Algo Smart Trail, you do actually have this flipping bullish. Now, this is obviously not an end-all, be-all, but this is kind of what you want to see, right? This was obviously acting as resistance, but now we have flipped above it, and it opens up the opportunity for this to turn into support. And speaking of support, by the way, if you guys want to check out Lux Algo, link in the description down below if you're interested in checking out these indicators, where it beautifully marks out the market structure here, as well as the oscillator matrix. We'll actually get a little bit deeper into this in a second, but link in the description down below. Shout out to Lux Algo, one of the best indicators out there, and you guys know that because I use it every single day here. But with that being said, this smart trail is going to come into play in just a second. But, speaking of key support here, guys, I do want to talk about, let me just turn off the indicators for a second. I do just kind of want to talk about those key levels to the downside, right? If we are going to get the pullback, which is not impossible, why are we saying that? Well, simply put, right, nothing just goes up in a straight line forever, right? We always talk about this. The market is ugly. Price action is ugly, right? This is all super bullish, and then everybody gets super bearish, but we just put in a higher low, and then everyone's super bullish, and then you get a little pullback. People are bearish, bullish, bearish. But understanding the overall context of the market, this is how you can kind of anticipate those higher prices. But the pullback here, number one, right? Obviously, you are above that volume profile where you're already looking for short positions, right? And I think you guys understand the context at this point. But this is already where you're looking at the price of Bitcoin as overvalued, at least for the time being. And you are going to be looking for short positions to return back into that volume profile, or that below that value area high. And then once you get stuck back below this value area high, that is typically where you see the bigger move down. But just based off the context of the market right now, I am not just going to automatically assume that we're going to go to the, POC would be somewhat likely in my opinion. Obviously a key level of support, as you see that blue box. I'm going to go over that in just a second. But, I'm not automatically going to assume that we're definitely just going to come straight back down to the value area low. This would be the overall plan based off the volume profile, right? Longs at the low, flip the value area low, POC value area high, deviate from the high. This would be the trajectory you would expect, but we have to understand based off the context that a higher low is going to be likely, right? So if I am able to get a little retracement in here and I am able to catch my short, I'm not holding this with the plan of coming all the way down to the lows here. And this might confuse a lot of people, right? And let me explain this a little bit, right? So this is my long position. This is a longer term position, right? This has been, I've been holding this for, I actually think I entered this, I've been in it for a little longer than 6 days, but, this is the long position. Now, I am not just closing this in full and flipping fully short, right? Because of the context that we just talked about. Bullish market structure, money flow crossing over into the green. We also have that weekly green dot, which is actually a pretty significantly, bullish sign, at least locally, right? It's not a money flow crossover, but it is a green dot. We typically do see moves up based off of this. Obviously, we went over this yesterday. We kind of get a big leg up, consolidate, we take the lows of that range, print a green dot, and then off to the races, start a new consolidation range, take the lows, green dot prints, next leg to the upside, and then simply put, what happened here, little consolidation, slip the lows, right? Green dot. Could this be the next move to the upside, right? Obviously bringing us to new all-time highs. And I think it is potentially possible based off the way the charts look right now, but I don't think that we're likely to just blast off from here, as some of the lower time frames are starting to show a little bit of bearish signs. And we looked at this yesterday on the live stream on the lower time frames. Let me pull the TA back up. Not only did we come up above that value area high, let me spawn it real quick for you guys, but not only did we get above that value area high, but we did hit this key level, which was a daily horizontal. We also had that daily naked point of control sitting up here. It's actually pretty fun. We wound up coming up and hitting this target. We looked at a potential move, a continuation to the upside in the beginning of the stream, and then throughout that stream, we did wind up coming up and hitting that target. And where did we reject? Right from that daily horizontal, which is absolutely beautiful when TA is just simply poetic like this. And again, just to kind of give you guys an idea of how you look for these shorts up here, and I know this is something that a lot of people want to learn, right? And like, if you really want to get into these trades, simply what I do is I wait for that value area high to get broken. We come up to key resistance. Sure, we swing fail that daily, but we also created a little bit of a consolidation up here. And what happened within this consolidation, right? This is how I find my entries. Simply put, you come up, You get some sideways price action, which gives us context. We could pull a volume profile on that and simply, a beautiful short entry here. Now, I did not take this, obviously. I wish I did. I actually got to the charts a little late. So I was trying to get in on this retracement, guys, and it did wind up missing my order by like literally a few dollars. But what happened here, right? We now have context, right? We have the nice little range. We have highs and lows, right? Not only can you scalp this range on the low time frames, but what happens here, right? You have equal highs. What do we know about equal highs, right? Oftentimes, if people are shorting this range, right, you got those degen scalpers shorting this range, likely we have some stop losses up here. And what happens? Simply price comes up, and if we grab this little horizontal line, right, simply put, what happened here? You literally come up, swing fail this level, like swing fail these highs here, and take the liquidity, and then you get that big move to the downside. Beautiful swing failure pattern there at the high of the range, and this would have been the ideal short setup. I was not there for the actual setup to be there, so I was looking for that retracement, and again, not this one, but this one, and it did front run my, it just kind of came up and just left me behind. This is why I typically don't use limit orders, but I really wanted to try to get into that trade while I wasn't at the computer, and sometimes your orders just don't get filled. But I'm not FOMO shorting, right? I didn't try to FOMO short here, FOMO short here, FOMO short here, right? I am waiting for a significant signal to go short now. So I would much rather get a little bit more of a retracement here to look for the next short entry. But just to give you guys a little context of how you can actually find these trade entries, right? I'm not just seeing a tap at this level and going short. I need an actual reason to take the position, right? And to do that, you find that local context, pull your volume profile, and then you have a simple roadmap on where price is likely to go. You're not going to be looking to short down here, right? It's not like you tap resistance and then you come down and you're shorting here, right? Because then you wind up consolidating and you're in the red for a little bit. You can trade like that and make money, right? It's not the worst thing in the world, but I like to get those sniper entries, so I would only be comfortable shorting within this range at the highs. And then that SFP right here was an absolutely beautiful, beautiful setup. But unfortunately, like I said, I did not get my order filled. But with that being said, right, simply put, if this pullback continues, guys, not only did you have the local signals yesterday, but we also now have the higher time frames, such as the 12-hour. Look at this VWAP starting to curve back to the downside, potentially printing red dots here. And remember, guys, the red and green dots indicate the ebbs and flows in the market, and the money flow indicates the longer-term trend, right? So just because we're going to get a red dot on the 12-hour, just because we're looking to potentially print a red dot on the 16-hour, and just because the VWAP on the daily is coming down, looking to cross over that zero line and print a red dot on the daily, this would be an ebb or flow, right? Money flow is coming up, indicating the trend continues to the upside, but that red dot could give us a pullback. Now, that key level I would be looking at for a higher low, or at least one of them. Obviously, we could put a higher low in really anywhere, but the highest likelihood, in my opinion, locally, would be this POC, right? If we get back into this range, it's going to be very likely that remember, the POC acts as a magnet for price, guys. So if we get back into this range, that POC is going to start acting as a magnet. If we get sucked back down to this level, I am definitely interested in bounces here. Not only do you have the POC of the range, but you also actually got to scoot this up a tiny bit. So technically, the actual numerical level has changed a bit as that fib has shifted up. But this blue box sitting here between 67,480 and 66,157 is going to be a big level to watch for that potential higher low to come in and a continuation to the upside. And very simply, if the next key level below that, right, if we break below that POC, we lose that 786, obviously it's going to be somewhat likely to get a move back down to the low of the range, which also has some pretty nice confluence, which obviously we're pretty far away from that at this point, but if you pull from the high all the way to from the low all the way to the high of this move, you can see your golden pocket and this fresh weekly level is sitting down here in beautiful confluence. So very simple kind of TA here right now, as we have our general key levels of support within the volume profile, right? You have your POC and your value area low. We don't know if we're going to get the higher low to come in here, right? Or maybe we come back down to the bottom of the range, which simply put is where we typically look for longs anyway, right? That's literally why I entered my long here, right? Everybody thinks it's going to zero when you break support, but you get the bounce, and then as you are sitting below this low, if you get confirmations to enter, this is where you want to look for the long. So just naturally, if we break that 786, again, that 786 is coming in. This is a key level you guys want on your chart, 66,159. If you get below that, that is kind of the signal for me to the inability to get above that level is the signal for me to look down a little bit lower and then simply sit on my hands and wait for price to come back down to the value area low. I really hope that this is not what we see happen, right? Because this is just going to wind up being super, super, super boring, right? We're just going to wind up ranging around here. And if it takes another few days, another week or so to get back down here, we're going to wind up going sideways for a while, right? So I would not prefer this. I hope we don't come back down to the bottom of the range. But just based off the volume profiles, guys, it is definitely a possibility if we lose that key level, the 786, again, sitting at 66,177. So that's kind of the clear-cut TA right there, guys. And just to give you guys an idea of how I'm going to handle this short, if I'm able to enter here, but even if I don't, right, if you're in a short right now, not financial advice, but if you're in a short or you're looking to enter a short, I just want to be very clear, right, because context is king, and context is very, very key right now with where we are in the market. So if I were to take a short, say I got the entry right here, let's just say we got into the short position, stop loss above the highs, whatever, right? The thought process for this short position, again, is not necessarily to just continue a downtrend. Why is that? Simply put, because we just showed that change of character on the daily, right? Using Lux Algo, right? Bada boom, change of character. This is bullish. Until we break structure again, we are going to be more likely or better off looking for longs on those higher lows, right? And that's very important to realize. I know it's kind of redundant, but I think there's a lot of new people out there that don't understand this. And if I could save you guys money or just even being in bad positions by explaining this, I will do it as many times as I have to, right? So with that being said, if I do take that short, the context is, again, not going to zero, but I would be very, very, very cautious around some pretty certain key levels, right? Number one, if I was short from up here, I would definitely be taking profit at about 69.5, right at the value area high, right? Because we could put a higher low here, potentially, right, locally. But if we can come back down to the POC, this would definitely be a big take profit for me because, remember, the anticipation is that we are less probable to just come all the way back down, right? Not impossible, but more probable to get a bounce off this level or even a bounce off the value area low to come back to the upside and continue ranging. But if we're going to continue this bullish trend, I do think that it's going to be important to hold this zone here. And that is the context of the short, right? Not just we were full bullish and now we're full bearish. We're full bullish, right? With trying to capitalize on retracements down, right? Not looking for it to continue to the downside. Very, very important to realize. So there you go. Pretty simply put, that is what I'm looking at on Bitcoin. The volume profiles make things absolutely the simplest they could possibly be, right? And that value area high is going to be another key level. Once you can't get back above this, I think the drop down to about 60 into the 67,000s is going to be very likely, right? And then the second key level would be the 786, calling for more downside. So doorway to lower prices, value area high at 69.7, and then the next doorway to lower prices would be breaking and the inability to reclaim the 786 at 66,142. And that's just simply if we wind up getting that move down, please understand that I will stop out of my long position at some point, right? I'm not just looking to hold this long all the way back down until I have no more profit, right? What I will be looking for is, I will get stopped out in profit on that long position, right? So we come down. Let's assume that, we come down, we take partial profit on the short. We don't get the lower high. The short continues to pay us out. At some point, I will stop out on that long in profit. And then the short, if we do wind up getting some kind of random breakdown, maybe we get some bad news or something, and we wind up breaking structure and flipping bearish again, we can at least capitalize and be in a short from the high here and still get stopped out of that long, making a good amount of money, right? And this is kind of how you can hedge your bets, right? Or not hedge your bets, but you could kind of turn that long position into a guaranteed winning trade, right? So let me pull that long up one more time, right? So once you take profit on a long position like this, you can move your stop loss into profit. This level is, not a particular level. I'm just kind of showing you guys an example. But you would move this stop loss into profit, right? So if price does unexpectedly, right? Remember the plan is to put a higher low in at least at one of these levels to continue up. But if we don't get that and we get an unpredictable market, right? Which is very likely in crypto, and we just wind up dumping, we will simply, if we come back and stop myself out of the long, I'll make a good bit of money. And then the short will just continue to play us out or pay us out, I should say. So there you go. That is what I am going to be looking at on Bitcoin here. Pretty clear cut, right? Like we're just looking at the volume profile. Just a real quick update. If you guys are curious, this is the full range. I've extended this range to the right, so these levels are a little bit different than yesterday, as when you extend the volume profile to the right, the levels adjust because the levels are derived from volume. So these levels are new, right? So value area high sitting at 69.7, POC zone, I'll call it, between 67,480 and 66,157, and then your next zone or the value area low is getting closer to the $61,700 level. That actual zone, for those of you who want the exact zone I'm looking at between the weekly and the golden pocket, 62,505, but between 62,505 and 61,333 is kind of that confluent zone, right? So these are definitely going to be the two biggest key levels of support if we're able to make it down there. Now, what happens if maybe we come down, put the higher low in, maybe we just yeet up from where we're at? Where are we going to be looking at to the upside? And for that, I'm going to go ahead and pull up, not that chart. Is it this one? Not this one. Bear with me. Where is it? I know it's here somewhere. Here it is. So as you guys know, if we do continue up, I've shown this chart a few different times on the channel, once in a pre-record, and a bunch of times on the live stream. If we do continue up here, guys, obviously the next key level, in my opinion, the next significant level is going to be that all-time high, sitting here at about $74,000. And once we break above that, here's the thing, guys. Even if, right, like, we can continue up. Sure, that is a 100% a possibility. But just as a trader, we have to be aware that we are now just simply at the top of a range, right? So potentially, we could wind up getting a shot up to that all-time high. If we get that move up here and we don't just pull back from where we are right now, again, what is this? This spider line comes in at 65.5. Let me just pull this up real quick. Okay, not too confluent with this zone, but this whole area of consolidation is obviously going to act as support, but just trying to see, 65.5 is just below our 786 here, and you can see we do have a spider line sitting in that zone as well, just adding a little bit more validity to the possibility of getting a bounce in that area, right? And then again, the break of that level, right? It's very similar to the chart I just showed, right? Almost exactly the same. Once you lose this low, like, it's going to be much more likely to come to the bottom of that range, right? But if we do continue up, we have to be cautious, right? Not only is this resistance, but you have to understand if the goal, which nobody knows, right? If this thing is going to get a bigger move to the downside, we have to be aware that there is probably a whole lot of liquidity sitting above here, right? Sitting above these highs from people who were shorting at these levels, right? So we probably have a lot of liquidity or a lot of stop losses, so to say, sitting above these levels, right? So what does this mean? This simply means that if price comes up here, I am going to be on the lookout, especially with this key level here at $75,400, or I was call it $75,400. If we crack that all-time high and we come up to this level here, there is a possibility that we get a swing failure pattern, right? This is just generally what I look at anytime we have a range, whether it's the 5-minute, the 15-minute, the 10-hour, the daily, the 2-day, the weekly. You have to be aware that there is likely a lot of liquidity up here, and that puts you at risk of potentially seeing a swing failure pattern at the high before getting a continuation back to the downside. So, next target to the upside, if we continue up, in my opinion, is going to be the all-time high at 73,756. And then right above that, we do have this Fibonacci extension level sitting just above that at $75,000, just about $75,400. And let me actually just check these non-log spider lines. Yeah, wow, look at that. Look at the respect on those spider lines, guys. Look at that. You can't make that up. But with that being said, that is going to be the next target. And to be honest, if we want to talk about like a real moon mission, right, I'm not necessarily calling for this, but if we do just break above those all-time highs, we do not see that swing failure pattern up here for the move down. If we don't get those confirmations, I will not take the short, and very similar to how I did not take the shorts in here. But if we do not see that SFP and we are just going to yeet up to higher prices, the next major level, right? I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow or the next day, but that next major level, in my opinion, is going to be this cluster of resistance we have up here between this pocket of two spider lines, and we also have these two Fibonacci extension levels between about $81,620 all the way up to about $85K. Again, there are a few levels within there, right? You have the fib level, the two spider lines, the two fib levels, and the two spider lines. This does bring you up to about $87K. But again, like, this is likely going to be a zone, so I wouldn't be surprised if you shot up here, rejected that first level, kind of bing-bonged around, scare everybody, and then get back up there to the higher prices. But that's definitely going to be that next zone. I would say 81,620 is that next big target. If we are going to put in a new all-time high, it's going to be a big level to watch. So there you go, right? That's the moon mission. But again, here's another reason, right? Let's talk about this. 8-hour, right? Pull up that 8-hour time frame. Red dot printing. Let me know in the chat, what am I about to do next? somebody, yo, shout out to DMB Smurf. What is going on, brother? I hope you're doing well. He says, dang, I'm late again. Guess it's time for 2X Frankie for a bit. Shout out to DMB Smurf. I imagine I am not the most, not pleasant, but I'm not the easiest person to listen to in 2X. I already speak in 2X naturally. So you're actually listening to me in 4X. Shout out to the Aztecian Cactus Mosswater. But anyway, let's see, bada boom. Origin Trader said, hey, Frankie, how do you dictate how much percentage to take TP you take from your trade when you do? I got to zoom in on this text, man. This time, am I getting old? I got to start wearing the spectacles because I can't see a dang thing. Hey, Frankie, how do you dictate how much percent TP you take from your trade when you do so that you could take more money as prices move higher or lower? Shout out to Origin Trader. Great question. There's really no right or wrong answer to this. Typically, I will, like for a first TP, I'll take 20 to 30%. But it really does depend on my sentiment of the market, right? Sometimes, right, for example, the long trade that I'm still in here from $40,000, right? This move was so strong and so clear that it was going to continue higher that I was not really even taking profit at certain levels, right? Because things were just looking very, very good, and I was actually pretty confident for the continuation to the upside. So in a case like that, I'm going to maybe take a little bit less profit off the table, or maybe I'll even skip a TP, right? Sometimes I sit down at the chart and it's like just smashes that first TP and doesn't, it's like, oh, maybe I'll just wait for the second TP, right? It's all dependent on the context of the trade, but I would say as like a general rule, very often it's between 20 and 30%, right? If I do like 2 TPs, 3 TPs, it'll be like 20 or 30%. And I don't know what that sound was. I don't know if you guys just heard that. It sounded like there's a motor, like a 2-stroke dirt bike in my downstairs. Very interesting. But the heck is going on? But the between 20 and 30% is pretty common for me, right? And then eventually, you know, at that last TP, I will leave a little bit of a moon bag in case we continue coming up. And then, you know, if you winds up coming down and stopping me out, you've already taken profit. Your stop loss is at break even or very likely in profit at that point, making it a guaranteed winning trade. So hopefully that helps you out. It's definitely a little bit not a loaded question, but it's definitely a hard question to put a direct answer to. It's going to be very heavily, pretty heavily reliant on your risk tolerance, right, and your own general trading plan. But 20 to 30% is pretty common for my TPs. Yo, shout out to Wick589 said, Frankie squint thirsty candles. Shout out to Wick589. Can't see anything in this. Sorry for cussing. Shout out to Sketch, if anybody understands that reference. Shout out to Tony D, said, Frankie Candles. Sorry, bro, that was me just testing out my new KTM in your living room. Shout out to Tony D, burning up the floors. Let's go. I mean, at least pop a wheelie or something. At least stream it, Tony. At least stream it. Let's see. Shout out to Chemistry Bro, said, Frankie Candles breaking. I'm going to go ahead and pin this. I haven't even read it yet. Breaking. It's happening. We have at least 5 of the potential Ethereum ETF issuers that have submitted their amended 19B-4s in the last 25 minutes. Let's go. Shout out to Chemistry Bro. All right. Straight to the moon, baby. Let's go. Send it to $1 million. We're going to take a look at Ethereum. As you guys can see, we are breaking a pretty key level. This could be good for Ethereum, obviously. We're going to get to that in just a second. But that is what we're looking at, guys. Let's see. Okay, yeah, shout out to Hamza. He is answering my question. The 8-hour, what am I going to be looking for? Hamza knows. When you see that 8-hour red dot, guys, again, why are we anticipating a potential continued pullback? Not a dump, but a continued pullback or retracement. That 8-hour red dot could be the thing to start this little bit of a retracement, because that 8-hour red dot, the next thing I do when I see this, guys, is I go straight down to the 30-minute. We covered this yesterday. One of the easiest and most simple trading strategies you could possibly learn. When you see that 8-hour red dot, I come right down to the 30-minute to take a look at the money flow. And look at that money flow, guys. Money flow coming out on the 30-minute with that 8-hour red dot. Typically, when we see this, it could lead to a much bigger move to the downside, right? So, and typically that money flow crossover, when we get that at the same time, that money flow crossover is what starts the move. Typically, this is another reason why we could potentially wind up getting stuck below that value area high and get that continuation to the downside, which again In that case, I am not just immediately bearish, right? I am still holding my long position from lower, but this is simply a retracement. And if we are going to do that and I could find an entry on a lower high here, I am definitely going to want to take advantage of that move. And again, that 8-hour that 8-hour red dot with that 30-minute money flow crossover could be the thing to start it. So if that money flow keeps coming over here and crosses into the red, don't be surprised. We actually might be able to come back to this tomorrow. I've done this a few different times, and more often than not, it does play out, right? It's not 100% hit rate on this, obviously, as nothing has 100% hit rate. Or at least I haven't found it. If anybody has 100% strategy out there, please, for the love of God, send it over to me, and I'll just trade that. But we're going to go ahead and drop in here and say 30-minute money flow crossover. I'll just abbreviate here. Equals move down to 67K. We'll see, right? If it plays out, it plays out. If not, we get to move up, we will simply continue to profit off that long position. And again, if we start yeeting up here and we break these highs and I don't have a reason to go short, I won't take the short, right? We need those entry signals to take the short positions. We don't just get into random willy-nilly trades. We want to take high probability setups. So there you go. Just keep an eye on that. If you get the move down, go on that 30-minute. If that money flow crosses over, I can almost guarantee you that is what starts the move, right? And we back-tested this yesterday, so I'm not going to do it again, but it does have a pretty high hit rate. Not 100%. But a pretty high hit rate. So we'll see if that winds up playing out. It might not. But the beautiful thing is we don't need to know because we take advantage no matter what happens because we have a plan in both scenarios. All right, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Stupid Bitcoin. Said dating coaches on YouTube claim 100% hit rate. Shout out to Stupid Bitcoin. We need to get these guys into the trading space. I'm kidding. Please do not bring them into the trading space. But anyway, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Wick589 said, kindly yeet prices up to 100K, sir. Shout out to Wick589. I'll go ahead and call my boy Satoshi and see if we can get him going. My cousin Satoshi. You guys know Satoshi is my cousin. I'm obviously kidding. But anyway, let's see. Bada boom. Shout out to Crypto Billy. Thank you for the update. I actually checked in on Rob earlier today. I added him while I was running the theme song, or not theme song, but the intro song. And he usually says, "Here we go." And he wasn't there. And I was like, oh my God, Rob CryptoStop's not here. But shout out to Chemistry Bro doing the alts tonight. Hopefully Rob is okay. But yeah, shout out to Chemistry Bro. He said he's got the alts. So if you guys want to pay anybody off to see your altcoin, Chemistry Bro is your man. I'm kidding, Chembro. Please don't take bribes. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue on here, guys. That is what we're looking at on Bitcoin, the general gist of things. In short-term pulls back to the downside, definitely likely, but not flipping me bearish until we wind up breaking that structure and coming down to much lower prices. Other than that, I'm going to be looking for higher lows and a continuation up. And now you guys have like literally the exact plan. If you want more details on that, just scrub. And you just tuned in, scrub to the beginning of the stream and rewatch it. You'll have all the scenarios, all the actual key levels, and all those nitty gritty cans of sauce that you guys are looking for. Shout out to Nine Breaker. Shout out to you, brother. Thank you for that super chat. He said, Frankie, if the ETH ETF gets passed, do you think ETH will suck the liquidity out of everything and become the main character like previous cycles? Dang, ETH with a main character syndrome. Unbelievable, Ethereum. But shout out to Ninebreaker. Definitely not impossible, right? Now, here's the thing. This is, I'm probably going to make a pre-recorded Ethereum update video here pretty soon. But the thought process, right, for me, for Ethereum, let me break this down because I think it'll actually help out a lot of people. Shout out to Tony D. Thank you for the super chat. Said Rob is in Spain. Shout out to Rob, the crypto snob, out there in Spain, traveling the world like the world traveler that he is. Shout out to Rob, the crypto snob. I hope he's on vacation, having a great time. Shout out to Rob. But you know, the thought process here for Ethereum, in my personal opinion, guys, was obviously to follow a similar trajectory as Bitcoin, right? We had the rumors of the Bitcoin ETF riding price up like crazy. And then what happened, right, when we got that when we got that Bitcoin spot ETF approval, we actually wound up getting a 30% dump to the downside. And this is typically what I expect on the announcements of these actual things going live or like actually being approved. You know, you always have to be careful of like the buy the rumor, sell the news event. But obviously, this was overall a bullish thing for Bitcoin, right? Very obviously, right? The spot Bitcoin ETF is not going to drive the price down. But oftentimes it does cause traders to sell off in the short term because they have all been picking up cheap Bitcoin, riding up that rumor all the way up until the announcement, and then obviously you get a dump on the news. But again, context is king, right? When we were looking at a rejection here, there were many technical reasons to look for the short on the Bitcoin ETF approval, as we had daily bearish divergences, etc. Actually, a really clean bearish divergence, right, on the daily here with your higher highs on price, lower highs on your momentum waves, and your money flow coming out. Pretty clear signal that you were going to get some kind of a pullback. But in the long term, you're obviously going to anticipate that Bitcoin ETF to give you positive price movements. But with that being said, right, on Ethereum, we kind of anticipated a very similar thing, right, where you're looking for, people start to buy up on the rumor. But if we do wind up hitting some crazy resistance on the actual release of the official news, I wouldn't be surprised if you get a pullback. But again, is it going to be a small pullback like this and then a monster move after? I would think it's pretty likely. So ETH becoming the main character is definitely not unlikely in my opinion. And the other thing to understand here is that not only was it just the sell the news event here, there were many technical factors here. Not only did you have the bear div with the money flow coming out, but you also were coming up to the macro golden pocket when you pull it from the actual all-time or the previous all-time high now all the way to the low here. We actually did come up and kiss that macro golden pocket, which was one of our biggest targets for price to come up into. And we wound up tapping it almost to the dollar, right? We tapped it, insta-nuke, right? But again, context is king, right? We weren't just looking to go down to zero, but just looking for, some kind of a sell the news event before a continuation up. So there were many reasons to actually take a short here technically, not just based off the news. So, if we see something set up similar on Ethereum where we wind up coming up to some massive resistance with, pretty big bearish signals on the higher time frames as the ETF is getting approved, a lot of people are going to be calling, ETH to $1 million, right? But we're going to say, hey, maybe not $1 million, but maybe we'll keep exploding, but just be careful on that little dump on the news, right? So in my opinion, right, let's pull some key levels here on ETH. Are we on the live stream chart? Yeah, okay. So let me actually just come up to the higher time frames here. Obviously, guys, we do have the weekly green dot on ETH here, which is not a bad sign, right? This is pretty much what we're looking for that what we were looking for that next big move up, and that can be said for any coin you're looking at. When you get a green dot on the weekly, very oftentimes you get a continued move to the upside. By the way, guys, if you want to see your favorite altcoins while we're taking a look at shout out to Silver, said, yo, Frankie, when are you going short again? I'll be honest with you, wanted to short up here. But unfortunately, my limit order never got filled, right? So it just ran without me. But if we do get a retracement here, I will look for another short entry. But again, context of that will be lackluster push down to continue up, right? So just taking a small scalp short there that may turn into something bigger, but the anticipation would be a continued trend of the bulls, right? The trend of the bulls, the run of the bulls. But let's see. If you guys want to see your favorite altcoins, I forgot to say this, go ahead and drop your altcoins in the chat. And I almost said Rob the Crypto Snob. Chemistry, bro. We'll count up the votes and let you know, or let me know, which ones we're looking at. So drop those alts in the chat right now. Let's see. There was a 5 to 6% pump after ETF approval on BTC before the pullback. Yeah, exactly. Into that macro golden pocket, which not going to find it on the 30-minute, but into that golden pocket. So I don't know. I don't remember the exact day, but we did peak out right on, or the exact where the announcement happened directly on that wick, but right into that macro golden pocket, right? So again, I am a very technical trader, so I don't wait for the news and then just sell, right? I wait for the technical signal and then to short, right? So let's assume, right? I don't know if this is the case, but if the ETF got approved here and we did not hit that golden pocket, right? I'm not necessarily looking for the short until we actually hit that key level with the confirmations, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's see, bada boom, bada bing. Let's see, bada boom, bada bing. Altcoins coming in. I'll take a look at Ethereum right now, and then maybe we'll take a look at one or two, depending on how quickly we get those alts in. Let's see, I just want to check in on chat. Shout out to Redman. What is going on, brother? Welcome in. Let's see, bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Real Boss Man, said if I listened to Frankie at the lows, I would have no crypto right now. I don't know why. Shout out to Real Boss Man, though. Let's see. I would be wrecked waiting for lower. Shout out to Real Boss Man. So let me actually talk about that for a second, right? So the reason, if that is the case, shout out to Real Boss Man. I'm not hating on you at all. I'm trying to help. But if that is the case, right, if you would have no crypto, if we were looking for lower here, right? Because here's the situation, right? And I'm probably like wasting time explaining this, but let me try, right? I can't let people go unhelped. Let me try. If I assume maybe these are the lows you're talking about, right? But in the beginning of the channel, I doubt you're talking about these lows, right? In the beginning of the channel, we were buying, right? Very publicly. You can go check the videos. While money flows in the red on that weekly time frame, right? And, this is very simply exemplified through the past, right, on the market side for weekly chart. But typically when you get that money flow crossover into the red, you get your first real big move into the bear market. And then anytime after that big move, if you're buying while money flow is in the red, you are essentially buying the bottom of the bear market. So I don't think you're talking about that low. I think you're probably talking about the more local low, which makes me want to help even more, right? If the thought process here is, are you going to go lower or not, right? You have to be open, right? We have this key level down here between 51 to 52K. You have to be open, right? This is how the market works. You have to be open to the possibility of coming down here. And if you would not have had any crypto, if you were waiting for lower, you are making binary decisions, not only, you would be making binary decisions. Like, okay, so here's the thing, right? If it's an if this, then that statement, we don't know for sure if it's coming down. Right? But you have to be open to the idea, because if we did get that move, we were in a short from up here at 67K and we would continue to get paid out. But I would not have missed out if just because I was waiting for lower, that would mean that I would have missed out too. However, I am in this long position from the literal low here, right? So it is I would just want to point this out. The problem is not that you were maybe expecting lower, because we were looking at it, because I was definitely potentially expecting lower, because that's how the market works. But also understanding that anything can happen, right? And this is how we literally make money on longs and shorts at the same exact time. So take that for what it's worth, boss man. That is how it works, right? So it's not just, oh, we could go lower, so you just wait to buy. That's not how you should handle the market. I'm not a financial advisor, but that's just not how the market works, right? You have to anticipate both things to happen, because nothing is ever, I don't want people to chase a binary, I have to buy or sell if I see this, right? It's never going to be one thing. You always have to be open to an if this, then that statement. This is the simplest way to explain it. Trading is an if this, then that statement. My long-term bags were all bought down here at the lows, right? Or not down here at the lows, right? But these bags, we talked about this yesterday, these bags, I don't even look at, right? I've been holding this Bitcoin. Like, I don't care that we ripped up to 70K, right? Like, I'm holding that for the long term. But for my day trades, right, or my shorter term swing trades, you have to have that if this, then that statement. And here's the thing, right? Because the reason I want to explain this is because you can make a ton of money, right? If we continue down, I would be in the short from the 67K POC, right? And we'd be making money up a whole lot, right? But that wasn't the case. So what happened here? We got, just like we're handling this trade right here, right? Price came back up. We took the long. As price came up here, I stopped out of this short in profit, right? I got stopped out, but I still made a whole lot of money, right? And then what happens? The long continues to pay you out, right? So this is shout out to Real Boss Man. I'm glad that you said that, because it's a great opportunity to teach, right? Waiting for lower and just like not doing anything about it and not anticipating the opposite move, you're going to miss out on everything then, right? You have to manage your risk and look at both opportunities and then bet on the higher probability move while still keeping an open mind to capitalize on the opposite move, right? That's how a trader works. For long-term investing, it's buy and hold long-term, right? That's easy, right? Not easy, but it's wait for a long-term bottom, right? Look to DCA in over time, and then you just hold the thing, right? I'm not worried about panic selling any kind of any of my Bitcoin holdings or anything at any of these levels, right? So hopefully that helps somebody out there. I pray that helps somebody out there. It's not a binary yes or no, buy or sell, right? It's an if this, then that statement. If this happens, then we capitalize on a short. If this happens, we capitalize on a long. And even if one trade goes wrong, if you manage it well, you'll get stopped out in profit. And then you'll start winning more trades and you'll see that P&L go up instead of just like, oh, we're going down and we're not doing anything unless we go down, right? Then you're just leaving a whole lot of money on the table. And with trading, it's very hard to kind of explain that to people, but that is the reality of the matter. So there you go. Yo, shout out to Real Boss Man. Let's go. He says, thank you for that explanation, Frankie. Makes much sense to me, and I learned something. 100. My theory is that the liquidity at lower levels are now our next bear market support zones. Shout out to Real Boss Man. Definitely a possibility. So shout out to Real Boss Man. I hope you don't. I was not singling you out. I just love when people ask questions that I can dig into to give as much tangible value. This is the point of the YouTube channel. There are no stupid questions. The point of this is to give as much free value as I possibly can to you guys to turn you into actual profitable investors and traders, not financial advice. But hopefully you guys understood that. And shout out to Real Boss Man. Thank you for dropping those questions. Shout out to you. We have some people in the premium Discord that are just like the star question askers. Shout out to Summit and a bunch of other people. So shout out to Real Boss Man. Please ask the questions if you got them. Shout out to Chemistry Bro said alt in the next chat. Shout out to Kembro. Thank you very much. And with that being said, that little sauce to go there went a little bit long. So we're gonna have to go ahead and go over Ethereum right now, which is actually starting to flip some. Thank you for that, Kembro. You are the man. But yeah, we're starting to see some pretty exciting stuff here on Ethereum. In my own personal opinion, yeah, we separated all of this. Okay, so here's a local context. Bada boom. That's actually. Drag that into this folder. Okay, so let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Hey, shout out to Crispy Dev, and I will check the super chats in a second, guys. Shout out to Crispy Dev. Said, can you do analysis on Bonk? Shout out to Crispy Dev. I will go ahead and add that myself if it's not already on the list. I don't think I saw it. Yeah, it's not on the list, but I will add it for you. But I will also say this. Shout out to Crispy Dev. I could do this with like one super chat. I just want to take this time to remind you guys that super chats don't guarantee that we see the altcoins that you ask for. I just don't want anyone wasting money thinking that it's guaranteed. But we can see them a little better. But if we did that, we'd have to be here for 24 hours. But yes, shout out to Crispy Dev. You just happen to be the first person, so I will take that one request. But full disclosure, the next super chats for altcoins, we probably won't have time to look at today. Sometimes we can move them to the next day, but there you go. Let's shout out to Crispy Dev. Said that's fair. Shout out to Crispy Dev. But let's continue on here. So two contexts that I'm looking at on Ethereum, right? Now, number one, we have this previous range, which obviously we have respected in the past, right? Then we broke down, created value lower as the low of this range continued to act as resistance, right? And we kept getting bogged down here in that lower range. And then once we broke back into here, we filled this whole volume profile almost immediately, but we are hitting that key level of resistance. Let me, there we go. We are hitting that key level of resistance, which is that value area high, which I'll just give you guys the numerical value there, sitting at 37.24, right? And this is going to be local resistance. This is not the exciting part, right? But you have to look at price in both contexts, right? Just kind of like what I was explaining. You're at resistance. Can we pull back? Potentially. Well, let's see what Market Cipher B says. 10-hour red dot. This would make you anticipate a potential pullback, right? 12-hour red dot almost printing, right? This would anticipate a pullback. Not a big dump to zero, but a small pullback, because why are we not looking at it as a big pullback to zero, right? Because money flow is in the green, right? Money flow indicates the longer term trend. I could do this. I should do this once a stream, right? Money flow crossing into the green. Let's pretend that's the zero line. You're crossing up into the green like we are right here. This money flow crossing into the green indicates the longer term trend. The red and green dots indicate the ebbs, red dot, and the flows, green dot. Red dot, green dot. But overall, the trend is marked by the money flow crossover. So because of this money flow crossover into the green, hopefully that's simple. That's a nice, simple way to explain it. Once that money flows in the green, you're not going to expect to move to zero, but a much more likely higher low to continue the move to the upside. We can talk about the areas that are likely to have that higher low come in at, but first, I want to cover the key levels, right? So can we look for local shorts here? Potentially. With the news going on with Ethereum right now, I don't know if I would be as open to looking for shorts on this, right? Because if we get some big news and we get a bunch of FOMO into the market, your bearish divergences, your red dots, all these bearish signs are probably going to get stepped on, and this thing is just going to Lambo candle. Come on, baby, Lambo candle. But you still technically have to understand this is resistance, and you can use this value area high sitting at 37.24 as your key level of resistance. Once you get stuck underneath there, you may be able to get a move back down to your POC. You lose that, you could be getting a move back down to your value area low before getting a bigger bounce. So with that being said, that's the local context, right? And this is, again, I'm like trying to perfect the art of explaining this. This would be the not the bearish case, but the retracement can open up the opportunity for a short. Technically the bearish case because we're talking about a move down, but we are just looking at that as a local move, right? Not a big dump. Now, what would be the longer term context? Let's hide that TA and let's go ahead and unhide this TA. The beautiful thing here, I'm actually going to hide these lower ranges and some of these levels here just to clean up the chart. I don't want to overwhelm people, but guys, key resistance, pull up the daily, coming from the top of the bull market, right? A lot of people ask me, where are you extrapolating these volume profiles from? Very simply put, I give it all away. It's coming from this area of consolidation. I pull the volume profile, I extrapolate those levels to the current price, right? And oftentimes, those levels are respected. Old POC, oh, why'd we reject here? I'm sure you could probably find other levels there as well, but you respected that POC absolutely beautifully, right? So very similarly, all of these volume profile, this whole range is probably going to get respected as a typical volume profile. And what are we seeing here, Mafia? Look at this. This is why I wouldn't really be as interested in a big short here, not just the news on Ethereum, but as we are approaching that value area high of this lower range, you're also potentially breaking above the value area low of the upper range. And what is this, guys? This is simply our doorway to higher prices, right? Why? Because if you get above that value area low and hold it as support, the next likely place for price to go, somebody let me know in the chat. Somebody let me know. The next likely place for price to go, Creighton C is going to be the first one. Your spaghetti is in a bag, isn't it? Shout out to Creighton C. Captain Kirk coming through with the answer. POC. Once you hold that value area low as support, guys, very likely that POC gets hit. And especially with the bullish news behind this thing, you flip that POC, very likely to come up to your value area high. So the next major targets on Ethereum, if we see some kind of pump out of nowhere, $4,000 is going to be your next psychological level. I'll actually go ahead and just put in 4K as the psychological level, right? So $4,000 even is it's very much likely going to be a little level of resistance. So I'll kind of make this a little zone. You have the POC of the range, which is definitely going to be the next likely target once you flip that value area low. However, once you flip that POC, that is where you're likely to come up to that 43.95 value area high. And let's not forget that you have that weekly naked point of control sitting at $4,600. Right? So these are the next, if we do continue up, I think these are definitely the key levels you want to be keeping an eye on as far as the next stops to the upside. Very, very clean cut. And then you have that clear invalidation, right? Like, let's come to the lower time frames, right? Let's see if we can go down to like even lower, right? Like, look how this is respected. This is not just like some imaginary level, right? You come up, bing bong, right? You stay above it. Not try to lose it, come back down. Now we're trying to reclaim it. Now we're back above. But really, you want to see higher time frame candle closes above here to anticipate that move to the POC. But if this thing continues up, these are going to be the key levels that I would be watching as far as take profits, right? Because what happened on Bitcoin, right? Let's go back to Bitcoin and use this as an example, right? What happened? Let me hide this position, clean things up a bit. What happens? We were below the value area low, and then once you reclaim it, this is where you're looking for, where's the next likely place for price to go? The POC. What happened to price, right? Like, this is not something I invented. This is not something I made up. I would love to take credit for it. I would be willing to say, I do not like to, typically I'm the guy that's like, I'm my worst critic, right? Usually other people have to tell me things I do good. But here's the thing. I did not invent this. I would like to think that like maybe we popularized the volume profile, but once you get above that value area low, where's the next likely place for price to go? The POC. Where did price go? Right to that POC. Now, sure, it's messy. Sure, it's scary, right? But eventually, you do get to that POC. What happens when you flip the POC? Next likely place for price to go, straight up to that value area high. And we see it play out, right? So that's an example of how we were able to not only look for the anticipation or have the anticipation of that move to happen, but also profit off the long position that we took. I don't think I'm logged into Femex right now. I am still holding the position, but we are literally in that position up multiple thousands of dollars, right? So this is literally like, Frankie, how do I make money trading? Like, this is a lot of it, right? Now, you got to get the key. You have to find your confirmation, your entry confirmations, etc. But, that's the theory, right? This is how you make money trading, right? Or at least me, based off my strategies. There's many different strategies out there that work. But this is what I like to do. The volume profiles, it's just like, easy on the brain, right? Very simple, very there's not too much guesswork, right? Because the levels are derived from volume and they move based off where the volume is, right? So there's no guesswork. It's not like, should I be looking at this level or this level? Simply put, the volume profile levels are there. That's why I like to use these as key levels, because they're not just trend lines or horizontals. They're literally based off volume. So there you go. Keyword, volume profile. But let's go back over to Ethereum so you can now understand, like, this is kind of like a little bit of a similar situation where as long as we're able, did this just pop up again? But yeah, if you stay above this level, right? I'm not in a long on ETH. However, if I were to see some kind of an entry signal or an entry confirmation signal down here to take a long, my plan for that position would simply be a simple range trade, right? Your stop loss is going to be based off your risk tolerance, very likely. I mean, here we go. We see this thing shoot up through this volume profile live on stream. I will lose my mind. But there you go. That's kind of the trajectory of that trade, right? And then your TPs are very clear, right? TP in this zone, TP1, TP2 could be here. And then if you are thinking it's going to continue up, you could hold that moon bag for higher prices. Obviously, the weekly naked point of control will be key, but you could hold it for higher prices, move your stop loss to your entry, or maybe move your stop loss into profit. That way, if price comes up and you hit your final TP and you're holding a moon bag, you've already made a bunch of money, guaranteed winning trade with your stop loss and profit. And if price randomly wicks down and stops you out, you at least get a guaranteed winning trade, which will slowly grow your account. So there you go. Shout out to Dairy Queen. Shout out to Bitfrog. Says Dairy Queen. And I say, actually, I had Dairy Queen the other day. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue on here. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Dr. Crips's girlfriend. Said, why haven't 500 people smash that like button? Smash that like button if you have not already, guys. If you are learning anything or find any value in this content, we're just giving it all away for free. Smash that like button, the easiest and most free way to support the channel. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. So yeah, that's the big news on Ethereum. Hold that value area low would be very, very bullish in my opinion with those targets above. Feel free to screenshot the levels. And now let's go ahead and move on to our altcoin list. Let me go ahead and, okay, shout out. Let me read some of these super chats because I missed these as we were dunked into the sauce. Shout out to Creighton C. Said, I can't do this range again, Frankie. I won't. I'll die before I go back. Okay, now you give me the keys. Now give me the keys to the Supra, a car that just vanishes from Dom's life after Fast and the Furious 1. Hashtag, where's the Supra? Shout out to Creighton C. Oh, God. How about that new Supra, though? That new Supra. Woo. It's basically a BMW, though. That's like the one thing. It's not a real Supra. I think it's a B58. Anyway, shout out to the car people out there. Let's see. Let's see. Shout out to Golden. Thank you for the super chat, bro. He says, I had an Italian dinner with ingredients from Italy, pasta, tomato sauce with basil, seasoned oil, herbs, and spices, homemade while chilling in Croatia. Yo, you're in Croatia, Golden? Shout out to Golden. Are you hungry now? Smash that like button. Shout out to Golden, bro. Dude, you're in Croatia. That's low key one of my one of the places on my bucket list that I want to go to. I used to have a friend from Croatia. I used to go there for like 2 months during the summer. That place is beautiful. Shout out to Golden. Are you just chilling out in Croatia, doing Golden things, just hanging out? Shout out to Golden. Absolutely legendary, bro. And that Italian food sounds unbelievable. Shout out to Golden. All right, let's see. Bada boom. Shout out to I'm going to call you M because I don't want to butcher your name. Says ETH ETF gets approved. Solana and AVAX skyrocket. I would have to probably agree with that. Probably drag up a lot of the other alts as well. But Solana and AVAX, I would probably bet will skyrocket as well. I'd have to agree with you there. But let's go ahead. Thank you for the super chat, guys. I appreciate you so much. And man, now I just really want to be in Croatia. Shout out to Golden. But let's go ahead and let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Yo, so Wick said Croatia has a lot of massage parlors. Yo, Golden in a 10-bedroom mansion on the sea. Bro, the funny thing is, guys, he's serious. I know he's serious. And it's probably not shocking, to be honest. Shout out to Golden, bro. Live your best life, bro. Soak up some sun for me. Shout out to you. You guys know I'm lacking it. Unbelievable. I was going to make a joke about you being in a gigantic mansion, but I didn't have to because it's not even a joke. It's just literally the truth. He's probably super chatting people on the beach. Golden's just out there just spamming super chats in a bunch of YouTube channels. I wouldn't put it past him. Oh, yay. Shout out to Viral Mule. Says, shout out from Croatia, bro. You're popular here. Shout out to Viral Mule. Yo, Croatian meetup? Golden, maybe we'll just fly down to your mansion. Shout out to Viral Mule and shout out to Croatia. I appreciate you guys. Tell all the Croatian friends, Frankie Candles says, what's up, Viral Mule? Show them this clip. What's up, Croatia? I'm coming down sometime soon. I don't know anything about Croatia as far as where to go, so I'm going to need some help on where to go one day when I go there. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue on here and start taking a look at our other altcoins, starting off with ABT, or Abbott, as some people like to say. Let's go. I don't think anybody calls it Abbott. But I don't know why I'm like this, guys. But here we are. Okay, so that fib is going to be, actually, just curious. Yeah, this fib is invalidated. Not invalidated, but just no longer relevant. This daily naked point of control is still daily and naked. Let me take a sip of this Aztecian cactus moss water. Let's see. Yo, what is going on? It's like 1 a.m. in Croatia. Shout out to Creighton Z. Shout out to I feel like Croatia know how to party. I'm not going to lie. I've heard stories. Okay. Okay. Let's continue on here. Sorry, I'm reading. I get stuck in chat today right now. But let's take a look here at ABT. Starting to get a move to the upside, as Bitcoin is, and Ethereum as well. That's a good flavor. But let's see here. Let's take a look at the daily. Thing is just grinding to the upside. Go ahead and pull a fib here. Ugh, this is going to be a hard one. This thing is just on a slow grind. Yeah, we are now. All right, let me pull some more local fibs now. Jeez. Let's see, pull from this swing. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you this. $5.90. If you break 480, right? This is kind of a actually, hang on. Actually adjust this slightly. I'm going to pull it from this impulse, which doesn't change it too much. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I would be watching $5.40. If this thing breaks, right? This thing breaks up, I would be looking up to that $5.45 level, as that is kind of like the next Fibonacci extension that I can see, at least based off the current pull. Other than that, I will just go ahead. Let me mark this out with a horizontal because I'm going to get rid of this fib and zoom out a bit. Yeah, there's like nothing really to go off of here, if I'm being quite honest with you guys. So yeah, if you continue up, which it looks like it wants to, I would be looking at $5. And I mean, it's a pretty nice jump, right, from where we're at right now. Nice little 20% pump here, up into the $5.45 level. To be honest, like, you don't have the fresh weekly green dot, but this thing just keeps climbing. Very interesting. I would love to see a fresh green dot here. Money flow coming up. I mean, it doesn't look bad by any means. Bullish market structure, money flow coming up on the weekly. You could be at risk of a potential weekly bearish divergence if you do hit this key resistance. But it is hard to find these resistance levels just because we're kind of a slave to the Fibonacci extensions, as we cannot look left for any kind of structure, right? So with that being said, that would definitely be that next level I would be looking at on ABT for sure. And get rid of this line. $5.45 could be the move if this thing continues pumping. Daily green dot was confirmed yesterday. Let's take a look at the 12 hours. Let's take a look at the lower time frames. Yeah, this thing just, I mean, look at that VWAP flip, right? VWAP just cranked back to the upside. Money flow coming up. I mean, just based off money flow here for the most part. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it could continue up in the medium to long term. Even the 4-hour VWAP scooting back to the upside, not looking too bad. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's kind of funky structure. It's kind of hard to call. But yeah, I would just pull up the VPVR real quick. Let's turn off these levels. Remove. Let's see here. I mean, the nice thing about this is you don't have any just like crazy new like rips to the upside, like leaving gigantic gaps other than this right here. But this kind of grind is nice, right? Because you do kind of, you are building like liquidity below, very likely, right? Below all these lows is probably a lot of liquidity, so you could get like go grab that liquidity. However, you do have some nice levels here, right? Like a nice chunk of volume. You're like building value higher very cleanly. I don't hate this. To be honest, it's kind of looking good enough where it's like kind of hard to even, yeah, I would just look for this next level to get hit. If you pull back, I will say this. If you do get a pullback, yeah, it's really just kind of wonks to pull these ranges like on these grinds to the upside. But yeah, kind of hard. Let's pull it to the. Yeah, I mean, like, this is kind of how I would visualize this, right? It's like you're just building value higher. Like, this is bullish, in my opinion. So, yeah, I would just look for this next target. If you do get a pullback, kind of hard to give the key levels here just because of the grind here. But I would definitely... Let me see if I can find any naked points of control. I'm kind of at a loss here, to be honest, with just this, like, weird slither to the upside is what I like to call it. It's a technical term. Slither to the upside. Let's see. Okay, so you have a weekly naked point of control here. This will be key support. Oh, God. Hang on a second. Shout out to Golden. Gifted those 50 Frankie Candles memberships. Unbelievable. The man, the myth, the legend. Gifted the memberships on the beach in Croatia. Shout out to Golden, you absolute legend. And shout out to everybody who just got a membership. Unbelievable. Crazy. Shout out to Golden. Unbelievable. You get one. Shout out to Crypto Billy. Unbelievable. Start those golden emojis, or golden waterfalls, as we like to say. Drop that golden emoji in the chat if you just got a membership. And thank your boy Golden for giving you that from his 10-bedroom mansion that he's in Croatia. Golden. You are probably the most legendary person I've ever met. Like, digitally. Shout out to Golden. But let's continue on here. Yeah, that weekly naked point of control is probably going to be pretty key support because, to be honest with you, kind of the way this thing's been moving is, I mean, look at all these weekly naked point of controls. This weekly naked point of control, what happened, right? We moved up, bada boom, come down, tap that weekly naked point of control, next move to the upside. I'll be honest, like even here, weekly naked point of control, you come down, find support, next move to the upside. So I would definitely look at this weekly naked point of control at about $4, $3.99 at as key. Well, it's like, yeah, this $3.97 as key support, right? This is definitely going to be a level you want to watch. Let's take a look at the dailies. Yeah, I mean, hey, can't hate on this. Daily naked point of control sitting right here at 259, and another one sitting here at 237. So yeah, if you do pull back, these are going to be key levels. Other than that, I mean, this looks pretty good. You're just continuing to build value higher. This actually does not look too bad. Kind of hard. Those are the key levels that I'd be looking at. Other than that, kind of hard to call. Next target, 545, in my opinion. We'll see if we can hit that by tomorrow. I actually put an alert here as we approach this zone. ABT, target, hit. Bada boom. So we'll see if we can get that move. And yeah, Bitcoin Bitcoin's starting to get a little retracement here, finally. Maybe I can finally catch that short. But let's go ahead and continue on to our next altcoin. Bada boom, bada bing. Yo, you guys are funny. I don't know what's with the shower heads in the chat. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that means. Let's see. Okay, next altcoin is going to be Solana. Let's take a quick look at Solana. And here we are. Can't make it up. Cannot make it up. So, simply put here, if you guys have been watching the live stream, you will know head and shoulders, right? That was as we flip this POC to support, this is where you anticipate the move to the POC, right, of the range. Or actually, no, the POC is down here. But the next targets were these two purple boxes, which is the value area low / daily horizontal level. We had nice confluence there. And then the POC just being another level of natural resistance. But the thought process here, guys, was once we flipped this POC to support, this is where you're going to look for the move or the journey, begin the journey up to that value area high. And we actually knew that the fact that the POC was so close to this value area low that it could be like a pretty quick journey through this range. But we also understood that there was local resistance, and you could see both of these levels wound up getting respected, right? You got a little rejection there, little rejection here, but eventually you are expecting to eventually get to that value area high as long as you understand those intermediary levels that are going to act as resistance along the way. It's very unlikely that we see something like ETH, right, where, I mean, there was a volume profile here, right? This shot right through the volume profile, right to the value area high, right? But it's not very common that you see it play out that beautifully, right? If that were the case, it'd be very easy to trade this stuff. But more often, it is going to be a little bit wonky and sketchy where you get these little pullbacks. Maybe you come down a little bit, but eventually you're looking for that value area high. But you can see these local levels respected perfectly. And I do think that as long as we don't, as long as we remain within this range, we are going to anticipate the final target of that value area high sitting at $205. And I actually did buy a nice bit of Solana on this dip. Super happy I did that. I actually bought a pretty beefy bag. So there you go. Pretty clear cut on Solana as well. Taking a look at Market Cipher. There we go. Money flow looking good on the 8-hour. Take a look at the daily. Daily money flow finally starting to cross over into the green. Daily red dot does look like it's about to print. So again, don't be surprised if you get a little bit of turbulence here. Remember, if you just start coming down a little bit, it doesn't mean that you're not going to hit that value area high. The market is ugly and confusing. Just remember that. So that is what I'd look at on Solana. Pretty clean cut. All right, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Shout out to All Set. Says best space on X. And I know he's talking about Billy Goat Tales. I will be making an appearance on there tonight, guys. So don't forget to check that out. Thank you for dropping that link, Billy. And actually, shout out to Golden. Thank you for the super chat. Says the 27th is the last day here in the mansion. You better hurry up and get here. Bring the missus too. You don't get into trouble. Live stream from the poolside. Hit me up, bro. Shout out to Golden. Take a quick trip out to Croatia. Do some poolside live streams with our boy Golden. Question is, Golden, would you? I don't know this or not, but I feel like Golden's low key, right? I feel like Golden would like to keep an anonymity. However you say that word. I'm just kidding. Shout out to Golden. I feel like Golden would just be like a mysterious voice in the background. Or maybe he'd come on the live. I don't know. Shout out to Golden. Either way, the 27th. We got a week. Shout out to Golden. Unbelievable. Okay. Let's go ahead and continue on. Maybe we all go. I mean, 10-bedroom mansion. Probably pretty good amount of square footage. Let's see. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Golden is so generous. Shout out to Aaliyah. Absolutely. Definitely one of the most generous people I have ever met. Okay, let's take a quick look at Bonk as we are running out of time here, guys. We did kind of spend a little time on the educational portion of this live stream. Here we go. Never came down to these fib levels, unfortunately. Just kind of took off from the value area low. But let's take a look here. Let's get rid of, I guess this volume profile is technically being broken right now. That is nice to see. Probably getting accepted into this upper value area. Go ahead and mark this out with, yeah, here we are, right at the value area high. But I won't even really look at that as our, here you go, right? Like these head and, okay, we're using the highlighter now. These head and shoulders, like these are everywhere. This is basically on everything. And they did wind up playing out to the upside. I do not like this highlighter. This is weird. But let's go ahead and take a look here. Bada boom. Okay, so we are coming up to key resistance, right? This golden pocket and this 786 is going to be important, right? So this whole zone, right? You probably could break it up into two separate sections. Bada boom. Bada bing, right? So these two levels are going to be key resistance. And in my opinion, once you flip that 786, that's going to be the signal to get above there, right? And then look for the bigger move to the upside, in which case the next key zone or key target to the upside, if this thing is going to continue up, is going to be this zone here between these two zones, right? Or these two levels. I'm not going to say the amount of zeros because I don't want to ruin them or get them wrong. But 6232 and 5544, right? Here's the if this then that. You want to get above the golden pocket. You got to be careful of pullbacks on that 786, right? But once you get above that and hold it as support, I think it's very likely you come into this zone, which would be nice, right? Because from the 786, that would be a 40% gain on bonk. So that would be not too bad, right? And that would definitely be the next target in my opinion. Other than that, daily money flow is now back in the green, which would indicate the trend is likely to continue up, but does not mean that you cannot get in on these little pullbacks, right? Very often, right, even when I'm holding longer term trades, like if I were in a trade from bonk, right, if this was similar to Bitcoin, right, and I was in like a long from the low here, or maybe down here, whatever, even when I'm holding those longer term positions, you bet your bottom dollar that very often we are still scalping the little moves, right? We're still scalping. Like if we get a big wave here, right, let's say you're long from the bottom, bada boom, right, and you're targeting these higher targets, right? We could be long from here. That does not mean that we are not scalp shorting here, scalp longing here, scalp shorting here, right? Because these moves take time, right? To get this full move took about 32 days, right? But plenty of little scalp positions to be taken here, right? Shorter term day trades and scalp trades. So, you could always take advantage of these smaller moves, but yeah, this is what I'd be looking at on bonk. Pretty clear cut. Line in the sand to break higher is going to be the 786. Next target sitting up here at these two Fibonacci zones, which again, I will highlight so you guys can get those actual numbers. Let's see. Shout out to Blair. Blair Stevenson says, instead of saying simply put so much, I feel you're missing a golden opportunity. I feel like you took a golden opportunity by using the word golden. It said, instead of using simply put so much, I feel like you're missing a golden opportunity to use quite frankly instead. Try it out and see how it feels. Yo, shout out to Blair, bro. You just genuinely made me laugh. That's funny. Quite frankly, you're a funny guy. Shout out to you, brother. It's pretty funny. But let's go ahead and continue on. Let's see. Shout out, Greg said I sold mine at 31. Shout out to Greg. I assume you are, let's go. I assume you're talking about like 0.000031 something. And I assume you're talking about bonk. And I assume that means you're in a long position from lower. Shout out to Greg. Yeah, shout out. Yeah, I guess he was talking about bonk. Shout out to Greg. 150K coins on bonk. Let's go. Shout out to Greg, bro. I don't know where you got in at, but hey, selling at resistance. You are not buying at resistance, which is literally puts you ahead of 99% of people, right? So shout out to Greg. Crushing it, bro. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay. Yeah, and then Greg said, I'll pick back up at 25 again. Shout out to Greg. Let's go. That is what you call a trading plan. Shout out to Greg. Okay. Mark Dutch said he bought it all 0s97. Oh my God. He bought all the way down here. Oh my God. How did you get such a low entry, Greg? How is that possible? It was it's lower than it's ever been. Shout out to Mark Dutch. But let's go ahead and continue on. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's go ahead and take a look at Pyth. And yeah, there we go. Okay, this is... actually, can we take a quick look at GME? Real quick. So here we are. Let me turn on the Higanashi candles real quick. It's always sketchy. You're always like, hey, I don't know if we're going to get all the way back down to that level. But here we are. See if we can reclaim that and get another move up on GME. I've just been waiting to see if these levels got respected. Monthly naked point of control indeed did. Came up and hit all our key levels and then dumped. Literally up to the top level and then absolutely dumped. Maybe we should do more stock stuff. But anyway, I don't know. Stocks bore me. But anyway, let's continue on. Taking a look at Pyth. Or as some people like to call it, Pith. Nah. People don't like calling it that. Never mind. Somebody, don't clip that. Don't clip that. Anyway, let's continue on here. So let me go ahead and turn on regular candles. And yeah, I think this is this our current? I don't know if this is our current Pyth chart. Yeah, I guess it is. Okay, so these are all tapped now. So I'm going to take these away. This actually I'm going to leave, right? Because if we could reclaim this, that would be bullish in my opinion. But let's come up to the, not too much information on the higher time frames. You are about to print a green dot on the 4-day and the 5-day. can't really take any information away from the 6 or the 7 day, or the weekly, I should say. Yes, the 7 day and the weekly are different charts, which is kind of weird. Where are we? Days. Right? 7 day, right? 7 day and the weekly are different charts, right? Like, look at the information on Market Cypher being on the 7 day, and then look at the weekly. Different information, which is kind of weird. But anyway, let's continue on. Green day, these higher time frame green dots are definitely a good look, in my opinion, right? Once you print that 4 day green dot, you're going to anticipate a move up. However, let's take a look at some of these lower time frames. Yeah, daily money flow is still pretty deep in the red here, but it could be the low of the wave. You do have nice bullish divergences here, right? Massive lower lows on your price, massive higher lows on your momentum waves. Not getting the real bounce that I would like, but remaining above this naked point of control, sitting at 0.4414 is key, right? If you hold this, I do think you have a possibility of getting a move back to the upside. This is going to be a key level to flip, right? Again, 0.4414. So let's go ahead. I'm actually going to pull this before the actual... Yeah, we'll pull it to here. Yeah, I guess we could just pull this to the current. Yeah, I mean, another key level here, this POC sitting at 49 cents. Just doing some analysis, bear with me. Yeah, I would say, actually, I'd make this a zone. So between 53 and 48 cents. If you're able to get back above this level, I think it's pretty high likelihood that you wind up getting a move back up to the high, right? As long as you remain above this value area low at 40 cents, you would anticipate to kind of bing bong around here. The idea is that eventually we'll break through the rest of this range to come up to your value area high, getting closer to 69 cents. Giggity. So yeah, it's nice. You're above the value area low. This is definitely your key level of support. I'll put this here so you guys can actually visualize the level. Yeah, at about 40 cents. And then once you flip this 786, I think at that point, obviously you're above the POC. Next logical place for price to go is going to be that value area high. But I would expect some kind of turbulence here, to be quite honest with you, because this is a pretty strong level. You have a golden pocket, POC, and 786. So really the 786 is your key level at 52 cents. Flip that to support. I would look for the bigger move up to the value area high, sitting at 70 cents. And with all that being said, guys, I think that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. We're going to go ahead and move Arrow and Link to tomorrow's altcoin list. We will take a look at those tomorrow, but we are out of time. But don't forget, guys, I am going to be on Crypto Billy's Twitter space or X space, Billy Goat Tales. Go check it out at 9 p.m. I'll see you guys there. If you're not there, what the heck are you doing? Get in there. And with all that being said, shout out to the CandleMafia. Thank you. Shout out to, I don't want to butcher your name, says Frankie Candles. For real, are you trading crypto or just streaming? I guess we have to do this. Now, well, shout out to you, brother. No, we trade. We do actually trade. We have a premium Discord. We show the trades live here on the live stream all the time. I'm actually in a long position. I mean, heck, let me see if I am logged in. I don't think I am, but maybe I am. I do have 73 Chrome tabs open right now. But yeah, here we go. I could just pull up this long position just to show you guys. Or just to show our boy. So here you go. Bada boom, right? So this is our long position, right? Up about $5,300, 130%, $40,000 position. So yes, this is a real account. This is not mock trading, right? We could do mock trading here. Where is it? Mock trading. We could do demo trading, but this is obviously live. But yes, we are really trading on this channel. We don't just talk about it. We actually put our money where our mouth is. And if you guys are looking to get a little bit more advanced and take your next step in your trading journey, and you want to follow along on my daily plans, my daily TA updates, spoon-fed trade setups, and 2 premium live streams per week. You can check out the premium Discord in the chat and description down below. We also have a free Discord community and the dining room, which is a freemium, but we'll get into that tomorrow. We actually are having issues with the dining room. We have a problem with the bot, with the thing that we use to get people in. So we have to actually, Tony has to rebuild the back end of that. But we are going to have a way for you guys to get in there. We'll go over it on tomorrow's live stream because we are running out of time tonight. But shout out to everybody. Shout out to Again, I don't want to say your name because I don't want to butcher it. Say, can you recommend me a good strategy to use for crypto? Shout out to you, brother. Tune into this live stream every single day, and you will pick it up quickly. But we do go over all that in the premium Discord. But yeah, there's tons of free content here for you guys to learn how to be profitable traders. Obviously, the premium Discord is a step up on that. But I don't want anyone thinking like if you don't have money, you can't learn how to do this stuff. This is like point of this YouTube channel is to offer as much free trading education as possible. And I do genuinely believe, not just because it's my channel and my stuff that I'm doing, I genuinely do believe that we give the most free value out in the space. Like crypto, stocks, everything. We offer the most free education, in my own personal opinion, out of anything else I've seen. So stick around. If you don't have the extra money to spend on a premium product, stick around with these free live streams. You'll see me every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we also have a bunch of strategy videos for free on the YouTube channel. You can go check those out, brother. And with all that being said, that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. I will see you guys tomorrow, same place, same time, right here, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Frankie Candles YouTube channel. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Hopefully Bitcoin doesn't dump too much. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong!
Coach, what's next for me, Joe? I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the is it? They should have had them two bells ready. Spit shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, though they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, so nobody's into me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in mine, yeah.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On a roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On a roll, here we go, here we go.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please. Asta pasta! Bing bong! Ah! What just happened? Asta pasta!